I will be explaining gang stalking in less than 4 minutes. First, an organization designates a target, and this target is called a targeted individual. And the idea is to basically harass this individual until they break their life apart. And they do this by having cars tailgate you. And a bunch of cars tailgate you, and they tailgate you throughout the day. And they also have cars briding you, which means they turn on their high beams and they're behind you at all times. They also follow you in public places and restaurants, gas stations, etc., etc. And they basically don't leave you alone. And then they also use NLP tactics, neuro-linguistic programming. You can look at what that is. It's basically feeding you guys information for programming. So they dedicate a lot of time doing that as well. Another thing they also do is sabotage. So they want to make you look bad in front of your friends, your co-workers. And they also condition you, or they sensitize you to certain stimuli. And they dedicate a lot of time doing this to further harassment. They also instill computer viruses. And in addition to computer viruses, they also change the settings of your phone constantly. And as you see, all of this is adding quite a bit to this target individual. It just keeps on piling up. Then they usually have a friend or a family member betray you. They get them to be on their side, and they actually betray you. And then in addition to that, then you have a street theater. So you have kind of these acts that they do on the street. They do mobbing, which is a bunch of people just, surrounding you or doing something weird. They break into your cars. They break into your homes. And they let you know that they did it. And they also have electronic weapons to harass you as well. As you can see, this is quite a bit. It's a lot of stress. And that is why it works. So you have different stages now. In the first stage, you're normal. In stage 2, you begin to get confused. You're saying, what the heck is going on? Then there is stage 3. Not only are you confused, you start getting paranoid because you're being stalked and harassed. So then not only you're confused, you're saying what the heck is going on? And now you think everybody's against you. And this could go into two directions. One direction it could go to is all of this stress compounded could make you into a delusional schizo. It's schizophrenic, but it's induced. That means they made you into a schizo. It didn't happen naturally. They made you that way. Or you could go the other way and you could recover. You could have some recovery and begin to fight back. And these are some of the other things that happen. You could go to an asylum, jail, lose your job. You could get a divorce, suicide, mass shooter, or a combination of all of these things. It could all basically destroy your life. And here we have your environment. It affects your genes, and your genes affect your will, and your environment affects your will. But your will could also affect the environment, and your will could also affect your genes. What this means is you could affect your environment, and you could affect your genes, which means you could fight back. And not only could you fight back, you could recover by simply willing it. You could will it to happen. There are also other psychological side effects, such as fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, anguish, susceptibility, insomnia, blurring of reality, and disassociation. Harassment is obvious to the victim, but not to others because of sensitization and isolation. The only way others could see what is going on is if they were with the victim 24/7, and that is usually very difficult. The police have a lot of difficulty arresting just one stalker. Most victims could barely get a restraining order. Now imagine dozens of people. It is very difficult to prove, and that is why we have a community of victims going online.